In the vastness of space, it is said that humans are too ambitious, too scattered to rule the stars. Yet when we focus, there is nothing in the galaxy we cannot bend to our will. Admiral Holden stood on the bridge of the Titan-class battleship, Black Star, gazing intently at the holographic projection of the galaxy. Various sectors blinked, signaling unrest. The alien coalition was mobilizing, their ships gathering for a rebellion that had long been brewing in the shadows. "Commander Reed," he called out, his voice steady and commanding. Reed, tall and lean with the scars of countless campaigns etched into his features, approached, his boots echoing on the metal floor. "They've underestimated us again," he replied, a brief smile touching his lips. "And they're about to regret it." Holden's grip tightened around the railing as he continued, "The Coalition's main fleet is gathering near Epsilon Prime. Their combined firepower could devastate a colony or two if they're lucky, but they're coming straight for us. Do they know what we've deployed?" Reed's eyes shifted to the massive display showing the Black Star and the rest of the Titan Armada, 20 ships, each the size of a city and armed with weapons capable of obliterating planets. "They think their numbers will overwhelm us," Holden replied. "They believe their diversity makes them unpredictable, but that only means they're divided. We need to strike before they consolidate." "Timing will be everything," Reed said, his face serious. Holden's gaze sharpened. "And we will make sure it's perfect." Meanwhile, far across the galaxy, Senator Kyle Thorne stood on the bridge of the alien flagship, Baraction. His reptilian skin glistened under the dim lights, while the Coalition forces moved in a chaotic formation around him, hundreds of ships from a dozen species, each with its own culture and agenda. "Admiral Visser," Thorne called, his voice urgent. A burly creature with multiple eyes turned toward him. "The humans know we're coming. We can't afford to hesitate now." Visser bared his fangs, a grim expression on his face. "Let them come. Our combined fleets will tear through their arrogance." Thorne's claws twitched, a nervous habit born from his ambition. He had pushed for this rebellion, believing that enough firepower and unity could finally break humanity's grip. But facing the Titan Armada, a symbol of human supremacy, made him uneasy. On the Black Star, readiness alarms blared throughout the corridors. Soldiers, engineers, and pilots scrambled to their stations, the atmosphere crackling with tension. Holden stood with Reed in the war room, senior officers gathered around. "They'll hit us in waves," Holden said, pulling up the battle plan on the holodisplay. "We strike first with long-range bombardment to weaken their front lines, then move in close. We can't let them scatter into the asteroid belt." "What about their flanking maneuvers?" Reed asked, concerned. "We know the Baraction-class ships can cloak if they get behind us." "They won't," Holden interjected firmly. "We'll bait them into the open. That's where we crush them." There was no dissent in the room, everyone understood the stakes. Humanity's grip on the galaxy had to remain firm, or it would all unravel. "All units, prepare for combat," Holden commanded. The Titan Armada began to shift, its massive engines roaring to life. One by one, the colossal ships aligned, their sleek hulls glinting in the light of distant stars. This was not just a battle, it was a message: humanity would not be challenged. As the alien coalition approached Epsilon Prime, Thorne's unease grew. He stood beside Admiral Visser, monitoring the sensor data. "The human ships are waiting. They're positioning for long-range engagement," Visser snarled. "It's a trap," Thorne replied, his throat tightening. "Let them try," Visser growled. "We outnumber them 3-1. Numbers win wars." Thorne wasn't so sure. He could feel the tension in the air, like the calm before a storm. The Titan Armada loomed ahead, a juggernaut of unstoppable force. Thorne knew that within hours, they would be locked in battle, and only one side would leave the system intact. "Engage," Holden ordered. The Black Star fired its massive rail guns first, streaks of molten energy slicing through the void, aimed directly at the heart of the alien fleet. The war had begun. The opening salvo from the Black Star tore through the coalition's front lines. Alien ships disintegrated under the heavy assault, chunks of debris spinning into the abyss. The Titan Armada had made its statement. Holden watched as the enemy fleet scrambled to reorganize. "Commander Reed, bring the forward batteries online." "Target their flagship," Holden commanded, his voice cold and controlled. "Already on it," Reed responded, moving with purpose as his fingers danced over the tactical console. The alien coalition surged forward, a mass of ships, each species contributing its unique technology to the chaotic formation. Despite the carnage in their ranks, they pressed on, intent on overwhelming the humans. "Incoming fire," shouted one of the junior officers as a barrage of plasma shots and energy beams slammed into the Titan's shields. The Black Star shuddered, but its defenses held. "Shift to evasive pattern Omega." "Let them come closer," Holden instructed, maintaining his calm focus. "They're spreading too thin, trying to hit us from all sides," Reed observed. "If we push through their center, they'll fold." Holden nodded. "That's the plan. Full thrust ahead." The Black Star surged forward, followed closely by the rest of the Titan Armada, a unified force bound by one purpose. "Admiral, Biraxian ships are attempting to flank us," one officer called out. Holden's gaze snapped to the sensor display. The Biraxian vessels had activated their cloaking systems, slipping into the shadows to surround the humans. "Activate countermeasures. Flood the area with sensor drones. I want them visible," Holden ordered sharply. Reed keyed in the commands, and within moments, hundreds of small drones launched from the Black Star, their sensors sweeping the surrounding space. The cloaked ships were revealed, their silhouettes flickering on the display. "Got them." Reed grinned, tapping the controls. "Forward batteries locked on. Fire at will," Holden commanded. The Black Star's cannons unleashed a devastating barrage. Biraxian ships exploded in rapid succession, their cloaking devices unable to protect them from the human onslaught. On the Biraxian, Thorne stared at the display in disbelief as the humans tore through their forces effortlessly. "They're picking us off. How are they countering everything we throw at them?" Visor growled in frustration beside him. "We have to retreat," Thorne said, his voice low but firm. "Retreat? Are you mad? We fight until the last ship," Visor retorted. Thorne turned to face him, eyes narrowed. "If we don't pull back now, there won't be anything left to fight with. The humans will wipe us out." Before Visor could argue further, a massive explosion rocked the ship. The Black Star's artillery had struck true. "Shields down," one of the alien officers cried out. "Order the fleet to fall back," Visor shouted, fury etched on his face. "But this isn't over," Thorne insisted, watching as the alien fleet began to retreat into the depths of space. It was a bitter pill to swallow, but it was the only option left. Holden observed the alien ships retreating, their scattered remnants limping away from the battle. The Titan Armada had won the day, but the war was far from over. "Admiral, they're falling back," Reed reported, satisfaction in his voice. "Let them run," Holden replied. "We'll deal with them later. For now, regroup and prepare for Phase 2. Reed looked at him, curious. "Phase 2? Holden smiled grimly. "We're not just going to stop them, Reed. We're going to crush them. The battle may have ended, but the war is just beginning." In the darkened war room of the Black Star, tension hung in the air. Admiral Holden stood before the hollow display, observing the remnants of the alien coalition fleet scattered across the galaxy. "They've retreated to the Scorix Nebula," Reed said, his voice laced with anticipation. "If we hit them now, we'll wipe them out for good." Holden nodded, his face unreadable. "They'll be expecting us. It's a perfect hiding place, dense electromagnetic storms and unstable gravitational fields. It's a death trap for any fleet foolish enough to charge in blindly. But we're not going in blind, Reed replied, raising an eyebrow. Holden stepped forward, activating a new set of projections. They're gathering their remaining forces for a final stand. They think the nebula will give them an advantage, but we've been preparing for this. We have intel on every weak point in their fleet. Their logistics are stretched, and their command structure is fractured. We break through, and they won't recover. Reed nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. But what's our plan? We'll use a combination of decoy fleets and concentrated firepower. We draw them out of the nebula and engage with overwhelming force. If they want a fight, we'll give them one they won't forget. Ready the Titan Armada. Let's make them regret crossing us, Reed said, determination flashing in his eyes. Holden smiled slightly, appreciating his officer's enthusiasm. Prepare the fleet. We're going to end this. Let the galaxy remember the day the coalition fell. As the Black Star and its fleet moved towards the Scorix Nebula, the sense of impending confrontation electrified the air. The entire crew felt it, the weight of the moment pressing down. The Titan Armada approached the nebula, the vastness of space around them swirling with colors and shadows. Admiral, we're entering the nebula, Reed announced, his eyes scanning the readouts. Sensors are picking up multiple enemy signatures ahead. Prepare the decoy fleets, Holden ordered, eyes focused ahead. Let's see if we can lure them out. Reed set to work, activating the smaller Titan vessels equipped with holographic projectors designed to create false images of a larger fleet. They would serve as bait, drawing the coalition forces away from their strongholds. As the decoy fleets activated, bright illusions flickered to life, mimicking the silhouettes of Titan battleships. Decoys launched. They're responding, Reed reported, excitement bubbling beneath his calm demeanor. Good, Holden replied. Let's make them think they're winning. We'll wait until they're fully committed before we strike. In the depths of the nebula, Thorne monitored his sensors closely, watching as the human decoys flickered into view. Admiral, it appears they've sent in decoys. They're attempting to lure us out, he said, gritting his teeth in frustration. Fools, Vicer replied. They think they can trick us. All ships, prepare to engage. We'll wipe those decoys from existence. As the coalition forces surged forward, ready to strike, Holden waited, a calculated smile on his face. Now, he shouted. The Titan Armada unleashed its full firepower, striking from the shadows of the nebula. The surprise assault rocked the coalition fleet, disorienting them as they struggled to comprehend the ambush. We've got them. Reed yelled, the adrenaline surging through him. They're disorganized and confused. Press the attack. Target their command ships and the Biraction. We need to take down their leadership. Holden commanded, his voice a rallying cry for his crew. The Titan battleships advanced, their weapons firing in perfect synchrony, cutting through the chaos of the nebula. Alien ships erupted in brilliant flashes as the humans carved their way through the coalition ranks. Thorne watched in horror as his fleet began to falter. They've outmaneuvered us, he yelled. Fall back. Regroup. But it was too late. The Titan Armada surged forward, a wall of destruction that engulfed everything in its path. Enemy command ships are down. Reed called out, his excitement palpable. Let's finish this, Holden said, a fierce determination burning in his eyes. The remaining coalition forces began to scatter, their once cohesive units now reduced to desperate attempts at survival. After them. Holden shouted. Don't let a single ship escape. As the battle raged on, the sound of explosions and chaos filled the void. The coalition's forces were no match for the Titan Armada's relentless assault. With each passing moment, the odds shifted further in favor of humanity. The coalition's unity had crumbled under the pressure of the Titan Armada's unyielding strength. In the war room of the Black Star, the crew watched as the alien fleet dwindled on the holodisplay, their morale soaring with every enemy ship that fell. "Victory is within our grasp," Reed exclaimed, his fists clenched in triumph. Holden nodded, his expression focused. "We've fought hard for this moment. Let's ensure it ends with the coalition's complete defeat." As the battle reached its climax, the last remnants of the coalition began to flee into the depths of space. The Titan Armada pressed on, relentless in their pursuit. Thorne felt the weight of his defeat settle heavily on him as he surveyed the remnants of his once mighty fleet. "Retreat. We need to regroup and regroup." Visor bared his fangs, anger boiling within him. "We can't retreat. We'll be hunted down." But Thorne knew the truth. Their only hope lay in survival. As the Titan ships closed in, the coalition's final stronghold was overwhelmed. The sense of impending defeat washed over Thorne, and he realized how far they had fallen. With a final barrage, the Byraxian flagship shattered under the Titan Armada's relentless assault. Holden stood at the helm, staring at the fading remnants of the coalition. "Let this be a lesson to anyone who dares challenge us," he declared, a fierce pride swelling within him. "We've sent them a message they won't forget," Reed replied, his expression one of satisfaction. As the battle came to a close, the Titan Armada emerged victorious, the remnants of the coalition fleet scattered like ashes in the wind. The galaxy would remember this day, the day humanity had proven its strength, its resolve, and its unyielding will to dominate the stars.